Well, that didn't work out as planned. Whoa. It's a new day in the shop. Still working on this. I think I got something figured out. Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to try to attempt to break in the cam on the 302 in Fred. I spent a little time previously getting the exhaust, some pipes and mufflers on it so it's not straight headers. And I've got a few other little things buttoned up, like got the fuel pump finally, got it installed, fuel line ran with a filter, all the hoses, radiator on, got the heater hoses hooked up. I do have water and coolant in it, and spark plug wires. I took the carburetor back off, cleaned it out. It's one I bought this past summer, used, and wasn't running quite right, and just from a little bit of starting I did. So I want to investigate that again. I think I might have found something in there clogged up. Anyway, I put this other fuel line set up on there. It comes off the back and goes down to right here instead of having to loop a hose run around. I don't know if I'm real crazy about that, because if you can see it has already came loose on me. You got a lot of leverage there to loosen up that bolt, so I'll have to tighten that up real quick. But if you guys have ever messed with putting a new cam in anything, you know that you have to break it in. You can't just put a new cam in and start the engine and idle it and think everything's going to be great. Or a flat tappet cam. I need to be more specific. If you got a roller cam, no big deal. It doesn't have any wear. But a flat tappet cam, when you first fire up your engine, fresh new engine, you always want to set the rings anyway, but you have to run your engine at 2,000 RPM, something like that, for 20 minutes is what they say. That's what I've always went by, because you have to harden that cam to your lifters. If you do not do that, just throw it in and start driving it, you will wipe the cam out, flatten the lobes, and fill your engine full of debris from the cam, cast iron stuff, and you'll ruin the whole engine. Seen it done. So anyway, I've got everything hooked up except for the alternator, which we don't need right now. I may have to put the charger on there later on, but I've got a makeshift fuel supply down here running to the pump. Hopefully that 2 gallons is enough to run it. If not, we'll shut it down, fill it up, and go at it again. But it's going to be kind of loud, smoky in here. I'll have to turn the fan on behind me. I got the door open, but I'll turn the fan on to help get stuff out and get a little air flowing on this thing. But it's pretty cool out. You can't see my breath today, but anyway, I'm gonna get set up, and this is the most nerve-wracking part of the whole deal. So stick with me, and we'll see what we can't get accomplished here. Well, that didn't work out as planned. Last I left off there, I was gonna fire this up, break the cam in, and I did fire it up. And I've been messing around before I went in and ate supper. I messed around with the timing, trying to adjust on it. I couldn't seem to get it right, but it was running great, sitting there and idling and adjusting on the carburetor. So when I came back and I went to fire it up again to break this cam in, it'll idle fine, but you go to rev it up to 2 grand, adjust my idle speed up 2 grand, the motor wants to shake around. So I got my thermometer gun out, checking each header, and number 2 and 5 header pipe are not as hot as the rest of them. They were 200 degrees, where the rest of them are like 600 degrees. So I know I got 2 cylinders not firing. Checked out number 5 over here and pulled the plug out, and it wasn't really wet, but it wasn't super dry. I checked number 2 cylinder and it was actually wet. So I don't know why those aren't firing. And I did check the other day, put plug back in the wire and laid it on the manifold and turned it over, and it had spark. It was sparking out here anyway. So I don't know if I got a valve too tight, not closing all the way, but I did check compression in number 2 and it had 150 psi. Maybe it needs a little more. Maybe I need to pull the valve covers off, check the valves again, and because I can't let it run at 2 grand and it's sitting there shaking like that. It's missing too hard and it's starting to kind of pop and crack out of the exhaust a little bit. So I know I got something going on there. So anyway, let me check a few things and I'll get back with you on this and see what I find on this. All right, I've dug into this thing a little bit. Took the valve covers off, checking all the push rods, rocker adjustment. Everything is fine. They all turn over and open and close fine. So that's not an issue. And you can tell by the way that it is that the coloration of the number 1 exhaust pipe and number 2 are a little different. You can tell this number 2 has not been getting as hot as the rest of those. You can't really tell it over here, but I can tell it on the 1 and 2. Anyway, I even changed the rotor button earlier. Didn't make a difference. I did swap 4 of the spark plugs around. The ones that weren't firing, I put in a hole that was firing. So I'm going to put the valve covers back on, see if that makes any difference. It could be they're NGK plugs. I don't know where they came from. They're brand new. I wouldn't have bought them. I would have bought Motorcraft, but possibly that's just bad plugs. You don't see that very often out of brand new ones. Anyway, the other thing I was wanting to check, make sure my firing order was right. It was right. They're new plug wires. Is that the issue? Plug wires? They could be bad out of the box too. Also, I thought you can put a 351 Windsor camshaft in a 302, and the firing order on a 351 is different. But if I had the 302 firing order set up on a 351 cam, it wouldn't run at all. It would pop and bang and backfire through the carburetor. And you've seen this one runs pretty good. It's just missing on the 2 cylinders. When you got a 351 firing order, there's 5 plug wires different than the 302. So just having a couple of them swap would make sense. But anyway, I'm going to put the valve covers back on, and we're going to try it again. If that doesn't make a difference, it's either I don't see the distributor not firing on 2 cylinders. I don't think that's possible. But other than that, I'm going to change plugs, and I may have a bad vacuum leak somewhere. I don't hear it or feel it. Maybe I'll spray around, see if I can find something like that. I did get my other carburetor spacer adapter, Rooney. I don't think I need this. Maybe I do. But looking at the intake, if that was like a Chevrolet factory intake, you can really tell the spread bore on it. You can't put a square bore carburetor on it. But this one, measuring out, I don't see anything where it leaks, so I put that carburetor straight on that intake. And it runs exactly the same as it did as I had this other adapter on there. This one here, it's just a thin plate, and it covers up everything from a spread to a square bore. It's just a really cheap version of it, and it ran exactly the same there. So I don't think that's my issue. I'm hoping it's spark plugs. I don't have any. I've got spare spark plugs for the other style. I don't have these big fat ones, so I'm gonna have to keep chugging along and see what I find. I'm gonna put these valve covers back on real quick. Swapping plugs didn't make a difference. See the difference in the temperature on there. Watch how it shakes. Well, if you guys can see that or not, about $2 grand up, it's sitting there shaking. So nothing I did changed anything. Changing the plugs around didn't even change it. So I don't think it's the plugs. It's still cylinder 2 and 5. What I can do is grab a couple different plug wires or swap these around. Might swap these current ones around and see if they're long enough. Hold on a second. Update, everything I've tried has not cured anything, hasn't changed. Put a different distributor cap on it. Didn't change anything. Changed the plugs around. Didn't change anything. Changed the carburetor base. Different gaskets. Didn't change anything. Unhooked the PCV valve. Plugged everything off. Didn't change anything. So now I've got the bore scope down in here. I don't know if you can see. But on top of that piston, there's a little bit of blackish brown stuff, or it's oily residue is what it is. From whenever I had this engine over in the barn, I had a little bit of, I sprayed a little bit of oil down in it just to keep everything from getting moisture in it and seizing up. It's sit over there for a couple of years anyway. That is not burned off. That is not burned off from firing, so we know 5 and 2 looks exactly the same, so we know they're not firing. But I can tell that by the putting my thermometer on the header tube. So only other thing I know, I checked compression in that number 5 cylinder too. It has 140 pounds. I would think it'd be a little bit more than that. Maybe the valves aren't seating all the way. It would still fire though. It would still fire. The next thing I want to do is change the distributor. I should have another one sitting around. If not, I guess I'll spend some money and buy one. But I'm gonna go over and look in the barn and see if I have one. So that might be tomorrow. Change that out. After that, I'm kind of at a loss. I'll have to keep trying and do something else. Anyway, I'll let you know. It's a new day in the shop. Still working on this. I think I got something figured out. I did buy a couple parts on my way home. Haven't put them on yet. I tried something and went to start it, and it kind of backflashed through the carburetor. And I looked around last night before I went in for vacuum leaks, and didn't really find anything. But whenever it backfired a while ago, it didn't really fire, but it just had like some smoke come up through the carburetor. Caught out of the corner of my eye, smoke coming out somewhere else. And took me a little while to find this, but after I seen that smoke, I'm gonna take this little screwdriver. You got different pattern holes for your carburetor mounting. These are the ones I'm using. These are bigger for whatever reason. Somebody's drilled those out for 3/8 and tapped them. Well, you can see this hole, that hole, that one. Oh, what's that? That goes all the way inside. I seen smoke come out of that hole in the carburetor. Vacuum leak. That'll cause some problems, so I'm gonna have to plug that hole off with something. I think I'm gonna trim this bolt down because it won't thread all the way in there. I don't think they thread it all the way down, but I gotta cut it off. I'm either gonna silicone it or something and get it down in there because this won't pass through the carburetor. I'd have to drill that base out of the carburetor. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to cut this bolt off and I'll silicone it, thread it in there, put the carburetor back on and see if I still have misfire on 2 and 5. Cross your fingers. It's hard to handle after a minute. The vacuum leaking through that bolt hole, it likes it better with that hole plugged off. But still got something ain't quite right with it. It's got a little bit of a miss stumble or something. But it's not shaking. All the exhaust are up to temperature, all is firing. It doesn't like the vacuum advance on the distributor. It runs a lot better if I unplug it. I may have to play with the timing a little bit more, but I'm gonna let it sit here and run, break that cam in so I ain't messing around anymore with that. Get that over with. I gotta keep checking on the temperature and everything, so but we're making progress. Well, that daunting task is done. It did pretty good during the break-in. Didn't get hot. I did have to put some power steering fluid in. I went ahead and while it was running, I idled it down for a minute, put some trans fluid in it, 2 quarts, and it got it up on the stick. And raised the RPM back up for a little bit longer. And messing with the timing. I don't know if the balancer's off a little bit or the timing line ain't right or something, but if I put it where it wants to be or where it's supposed to be, it doesn't want to be there. It won't start. It won't restart after it's hot. But nothing melted down. Radiator didn't blow over. Yeah, so I'm happy with it for now. Got a bunch of little doodad stuff to do. Finish up, tidy up, get the alternator wired up, all that, because I've taken out the voltage regulator and putting the Chevrolet alternator in there. I gotta mess around. I gotta get power back in the cab, but there's not, the gauge cluster doesn't work now that I unplugged some stuff, so I gotta figure that out. And I'm gonna have to get the grill in here on it because I am tired of snagging a guy's shirt. Every time he walks around this thing, it's either this or this grabbing me. And anyway, what, you ready to play ball? Somebody's ready for some attention. Yep. What? Alright guys, I'll see you later. Went over yesterday to the barn and got gas tank for old Fred. And this gas tank came out of Harry Tow. It was the rear gas tank. And I saved it knowing, well, you know, I save stuff. Anyway, it's been sitting in a CJ7 I have over there under the hood to keep it out of the weather, and I had the tank upside down. And so we went over yesterday and got it, and I carried it over here in the garage and Got the sending unit out of it, which it's junk. The float's gone and the pickup sock's gone. Anyway, got looking inside it. A big old mouse nest in there. And I said, how do they get in? I don't know how they get in there. They did. So, further investigation, looking around in there, there's 3 mice in it. How they didn't jump out on top of me on the walk over here, that would have been a sight to see. Anyway, luckily I had my mouse hunter with me. Yeah. And he caught all 3 of them. I got him to come out of there. You're lightning fast, ain't you, buddy? Yeah. 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 So we had to do a little cleaning on it. We'll have to wash it out. And I don't think it doesn't appear to have any leaks or rust on the insides. It's just got the typical mouse sleeve behinds. So yeah, we got a little work to do on that and taking the other one out. And I'm just out here doing little piddly stuff on this truck. Today it's Sunday. It's kind of cold, but it's a good day. Well, old Fred's finally got a face. Doesn't look like a horrible monster anymore. He still needs the sideburns, both sides, but we'll take care of that here in just a minute. This old grill, it's not the greatest. It's got a lot of bumps and bruises and scratches and overspray and everything on it, but it'll work. It's the grill that came off of my old Blue. It was originally on it back in the day, and old Blue used to just be trail rig, mud truck, tow truck, firewood truck, recovery truck, and this grill has seen a lot of hard times, but it'll be good enough for this. I've still got some cleaning I can do on it, and I want to doll these up a little bit better. I don't like the full silver on the headlight surround. I like the black with the silver trim. So I'll end up cleaning these up and taping them off and spraying them, make it look more to my liking. You guys may like the full silver, or sometimes they have all black and all black center. I don't care for that all that much. But yep, I'm gonna keep on rocking on it. May go over and get the fenders I want to put on here, just to put them on and see what it looks like. I think I would like to take the paint off of them like the rest of the truck and let them flash, rust, or whatever. Make it look uniform. But I was digging around in the cab, found some of the doodads for the dash and door panels and whatnots, and I found the antenna. I was hoping it was in there because it's just a stud, but whether or not we can get the set screw to do set screw things, I don't know. But that is the antenna, and it's telescopic. You can pull it in and out. Spring loaded. It's pretty cool. I like little stuff like that. I've got another one. I don't know where I got it at. It's on the shelf somewhere, and it won't work on here, but instead of having a spring right here, it has the Ford script like lasered into it, to the antenna. It's pretty neat. I've been holding on to it. I need to paint it and tack it up on the wall or something. Decoration, if you will. All right, I got my fuel tank set up here again. We broke in the cam on this two-gallon jug, and we used probably a gallon and a half in that 20-minute break-in cycle. Put a little bit more in it. Got it set up here, and I got a bunch of little odd and end stuff done. Made me a bracket to hold my dipstick tube tight. It goes up to the exhaust, the header bolt. I've got all my breather tube ran to the air filter, PCV hose ran over. I did make a battery hold down. Some of the factory hardware, I was missing the piece that goes over the top, but I just made a quick bracket. I've got a grill shell on, insert headlight rings, even got a couple fenders hanging. Don't have all the bolts in it yet. I just got my clips delivered yesterday, and I'm going to pull them back off, but I do have 2 fenders hanging on it. They're not the greatest. I've got buckets of body bolts and whatnots. I've been going through all them, trying to clean some of those up, find the right ones. But I did order some of the new clips and bolts. I need a couple of them that are longer. Some of these clips, they're made like this. This is the 1/4 inch style. A lot of these are 5/16, but some of those clips need to be longer because they've got to go like the tops of the fenders and where the fender bolts in. There's one back here that you have to reach from inside the door. That clip is actually a little bit longer. I need to find one more of those because I got one on the passenger, not over here. Anyway, I want to start it up, see if it is charging. I got my alternator all hooked up, and I want to see if it's charging. We do have good oil pressure though. It's in the, almost to the 8. Tip gauge working too. Let's go see if we got charging. It is not charging. All right. And we ran out of gas again. I think we got a bad fuel pump right out of the box. That I don't even remember what brand it is now. It's been struggling to keep up. I've had to prime it a couple times. Anyway, let me fiddle with this again. That alternator ain't charging. I got something going on here. Hopefully it's not the alternator. Hopefully it's just a wire placement or something. Got the fuel pump problem fixed. Put this all thread on there, couple zip ties, and it keep your hose going straight down. You put it in there, it comes off the spool, and it's all curled up, so it curls up and gets out of the gas. You get funny looks whenever you go to the auto parts store. Say you need some 3/8 fuel line, they ask you how much, and I want the whole spool, and they're like, nobody buys the whole spool. Well, this guy does, because I use the crap out of it. Buy it by the foot, clip it and use it for stuff, and you're gone. It's gone. I just bought a spool of that this summer, and all gone. So I had to go buy another one. Anyway, I'm still messing with this alternator. Just give me a little time, I'll figure it out. All right, you guys want to rebuild a GM alternator with me? I'm gonna take it apart and put some new parts in it. Messing with Fred here. Had it running a while ago, checking with the meter. Was not charging, so I'm gonna take it apart. I've already got a kit sitting around because I've got a bunch of these. This alternator, I have had it for a long time, and it was on a different project that I started and never finished, so I never got to test it out. It came out of the scrap yard, and we're gonna take it apart and put new internals in it, brushes, rectifier, voltage regulator, whatever. These kits are very inexpensive. You can get them off anywhere, Amazon, eBay. I always get mine off eBay. I possibly like 30 bucks. Yeah, I'm gonna take this apart, and I'll show you how I put new parts in. You can put bearings and stuff in it too. This one may need bearings, may not. Anyway, I'll get some tools out and we'll start pulling this apart. All right, got the alternator rebuilt and it's back on. let's cross our fingers, start it up. Got to hook the battery up first. Oh, man, stunned. Now we might have some juice. Get up there. All right. There we go. Huh? Yeah, we fixed something. Woo. Let's see how much it does when we rev it. Come over here. Stay there. Stay there. That's what we'd like to see. All right. Good deal. Turn this loud son of a gun off. My God. Man, guy ain't gonna be able to drive that every day. That loud. Whew. Cool. Got some charging. Good deal. All right, now what are we gonna do, Ranger? Huh? What are we gonna work on now? What are we gonna work on now? I always save my used parts, rebuild kits for my alternators. Just, you never know. I might be able to, I've got another used kit down there, and I've got a bunch of other parts and 4 other alternators that need to be cleaned up. Hell, there's another kit in there. Well, that's new bearings. Guy gets in a pickle, he can rebuild one of them and try it. I need to make a test stand where a guy can test them out without having to put them on a dang engine, or run them to the parts store and see if they can test it. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to find something else to do on here real quick. I have been going through my parts bins and finding a bunch of doodads and parts, kind of organized a little bit, but I've been finding a lot of little stuff that this truck needs. And I put the new ignition, or a different ignition switch in it. I was able to save my key. You can take the tumbler out. I'll show you how to do that real quick. On these Fords, this is the deal. It's in the dash. This ring is what holds it in. It's like a big nut. And if you have your key, you put your key in here, there's a little bitty hole right there beside, right above the key. And if you have your key in it, you turn it back to accessory, you can push a pin in there, and that releases a little dowel, and you turn the key back to off position. You can pull this whole tumbler out. And I found another ignition switch that was really good shape, and I put my key switch in it and put it in the truck, and now we don't have that starting issue. Well, I found something else to work on for the time being. Is this mouse condominium I call a gas tank. Took it outside and took the water hose to it on the inside. Got all the mouse bedding out of it earlier, and it was upside down where it was stored. The top side of the tank to us has a lot of mouse goo, if you will, inside there, and I got all the hickory nuts out of it, and or I try to get the best I could. Whenever you're trying to get liquid out of a gas tank, every portion of it is actually raised, and you can't get gas to come out, and your spout, your filler spout goes inside about that far, so you can't get anything out of it that way. So it takes a little while to get garbage out of it. But I brought it back in here in the garage. I got 99.9% of the water out of it, and the rest of it I took shop vac. The hose won't go in there, so I had to take a piece of pipe down in there and put the hose over it and suck up stuff. And I got lucky enough, and the old sock on the sending unit actually came out with the vacuum. This is our old sending unit. I have no idea where the float is, if it just disintegrated in there or what, but it is not in there. But the sock, which would go here, we actually got it out with a vacuum cleaner. So, looking inside there, there's still black goo on the top side for mice. So, I'm going to have to get some vinegar or something, pour in there, and let it soak for a while. I'll probably put some other stuff in there, a little piece of chain or something, or some, yeah, it'd probably be the easiest thing to retrieve back out, short piece of chain. That way I can slosh it around, it'll knock that stuff off, and I'll clean it the rest of the way out. So I'm going to end that video here. I'm going to let that vinegar do its thing and soak, and next time we come back, we will be taking out the old fuel tank, which is a parts tray right now, but as you can see, it is a very well ventilated tank. So next time we're going to be taking that out and checking out the fuel line situation that goes up the frame rail to the front, see if it's any good, and that'll be for next time. So today we're going to end it on this note. Alternator's charging, motor's running good, exhaust sounds good, steering works. We got to get fuel delivery and brakes. The brakes are going to be the big one. I'm going to have to order the sending unit and a brake booster and a master cylinder, and then all the lines, all the other stuff, yada yada yada. So I appreciate you guys watching 5-Star Garage. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that hype button, ask questions, whatever you want to do. Give me a little interaction or something, and we'll see you next time. And I'm sure this dog will be he'll be just as energetic as he is now. See you guys.